And there we are. Welcome, Rikard.
Thank you so much, Jim.
How are you doing?
I am doing great today. I'm really grateful for the invitation, and I'm also really happy to be able to be live with you today.
Yeah, people might see it that you are still in
In
hospital.
Scrubs, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're a vascular surgeon.
Yes, I'm a vascular surgeon.
I don't know if I told you, but when I was young, my idea was to become plastic surgeon.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. How did you become surgeon and
So,
vascular surgeon?
yeah. Um, First of all, I didn't really have any special thoughts about surgery when I went to med school until the surgical semester. That was the eighth semester. And then there was something like, it was really a very special feeling that I was drawn to surgery in a very special way. I was like, this is it, kind of. I couldn't really explain it, but there was something very fruitful with the thing that you actually can try to heal someone with your hands, and it was so ever since that I was really planning to at least like try surgery. So when I did my internship, I kind of like you know the feeling when someone is really interested, you're kind of like much more keen to talk a little bit more, like show a little bit more, and that's exactly what happened. So the surgeons, they were like, yeah, you're interested in surgery, Richard, yeah, come on, I'll bring you. And then I was like, I wasn't I wasn't like less interested after that. So yeah, so then I started my residency and became a general surgeon, and my supervisor was a vascular surgeon, so he did the same. He brought me to a lot of like exciting operations, and
Yeah.
so then it became vascular surgery.
Okay. Today the topic is it's all about connection, or connection is the key.
Yeah.
Where is that topic or that passion coming from?
So to make a long story short, I've always been very curious when it comes to people. I Ever since I was a kid, I was always very interested in their stories, their lives, and that curiosity kind of like developed through my career as a surgeon. And I was so fascinated when it comes to that potential, when what's really happening when we meet. So I decided to write a book about it. So in December 2019, my book came out in Swedish, and that is called "The Art of Meeting Yourself and Others," which is basically my personal thoughts and reflections when it comes to those very important and interesting topics, meeting yourself and meeting others. So that's basically that. And in my book, I present some tools that I use when I interact with my patients, and those tools you can use when you interact, because Jim, interactions between people, that's really the framework of life. I mean, like from the time that we are born until we die, from the morning to the evening, we interact in some way. At least most of us do. And if we can find ways to interact or connect in a better way, I think a lot of problems would be solved, kind of. So I have the four first chapters are some of those tools, and that is presence, silence, humor, and kindness.
Is that easy in a hospital to apply these four as a surgeon?
I wouldn't say it's easy, but I would say it really takes a lot of work to do that. I mean, like if you start with the first one, presence. Presence in today's world is more and more rare, I would say, because we are totally bombarded with impressions, and it's really, really hard to kind of like carve out that space to be present. But I think it all starts with intention. It starts with your intention to really create that, and you know, if when you meet a person that is really present, that really stands out, you know, you remember that person just because of that it's so unusual. So I really try to, even if I'm busy, I really try to give them attention in that moment, which is always kind of like a, yeah, it's work, you know, to do that. But I think it's important.
Okay, we have presence, and what about the other three?
Yeah, so silence is I say silence is a good friend of mine, because I have the chapter in the book called Let the Silence Speak, because there is so much in silence, and silence is also very rare today. But creating silence, when you do that, I would say magic happens, because when you give someone the silence, you also give them a gift to listen, to kind of like expand. And I also have a little quote in my book saying that in the silence, thoughts are given time to be colored in words, because sometimes you need that time to and if you break it, I mean, like you break it in that bab so fast, and then it's gone. And then the chance to hear that kind of like in their message, it's also gone.
Yeah.
And then it's humor, you know, laughter and humor. I had a talk yesterday for nurses, and we were talking about that. And humor is an extremely strong force and a bridge between people. It's so easy to think that, you know, we have on this side, you have this kind of like lightweight humor and laughter, and it doesn't really mean that much. It's fun, but it's not really that kind of like important. And on the other side, we have this really kind of like heavy, serious, more dependent like thing. And if you look at it that way, you don't realize the power of humor. You don't realize the power of laughter, because I would say that there is few things that actually bond like a really, really from the belly laughter. When you do that together with people, you create something really, really powerful. And I usually say that my colleagues that I laugh like most together with, I trust the most when I'm in a really serious situation, because something happens there. And I use it a lot when I interact with my patients, deliberately to create that bond with the patient. Because as a patient, we are not equal, you know. As a doctor, you are in the situation in a very special superiority, because the patient come to me or my colleagues to get help. And by using humor, I try to create a platform where we can meet in a more neutral way, that we can laugh together, independent of our roles, kind of. That is creating a bond that is very special, and it's also a nice way for me to show kindness and show that I really care, and show that I'm just an ordinary human being beyond the scrubs, kind of.
Then we have the fourth.
Then we have the fourth, and then that's kindness. And kindness is also very interesting, because kindness to me, it's a really, really big superpower, and it's also it's easy. I've been reflecting over this a lot, but it's easy sometimes that people mix up kindness with weakness. Sometimes you think that when someone is really kind, there is a potential that people are taking advantage of that kindness to kind of like use them as a doormat. But I will be very, very clear about this. There is nothing whatsoever like similarity between kindness and weakness. I would say it's totally the opposite, because kindness is one of the greatest forces that you can ever imagine. We all know that extremely special feeling when we meet someone that is deeply kind to you, not for having anything back, just being kind. And in the beginning, and especially people that are not used to that, they maybe they've been like mistreated and whatever, they don't really, because in their framework, they don't really believe that real kindness even exists. So then you have like put a lot of like covers, a lot of shields, because you've been forced to do that. And when someone shows you kindness, it kind of like bounces back because it doesn't reach you. But if you are persistent there and keep showing kindness without thought of like the resistance, you will see that magic happens, because layer after layer from that onion is kind of like going away. And if you are persistent, you will reach the core. If you're not like a psychopath or something, but that is very rare, most people. And when you reach that, something really, really special happens,
Yeah, I guess that fourth element, kindness, is a little bit easier because people, they need your help. So I guess you're more open compared to like private life. But the four elements you mentioned, are they applicable in all kind of work environments for you?
Absolutely. And I would say that it's all about, I usually say that it's all about the emotion you create in other people. And that is actually the key, that's the core message, because it really doesn't matter if it's patients we talk about, or if it's co-workers, or if it's guests, or if it's customers, whatever. It's all about, when you boil it down, it's all about that emotion you create. I mean, like if you think about why you go to that special restaurant, if you go to that special shop, it might be the food, it's part of it. It might be like the clothes or whatever. But if you pinpoint it, it's all about that creation of the emotion when you leave that shop, or leave that, or enter that restaurant. Someone see you, someone recognize you, someone creates something in you. And I'm positive that this is the key to success. And those companies, those restaurants or whatever that doesn't realize that, they will be behind. And it will be like even more because you can have like a super shop or a super restaurant or whatever, but if you don't create that, it doesn't really look at some restaurants or some, like, they have like a long queue, and it's not only the food, and someone has like the same food and no one goes there.
Yeah. Is that what you try to create? Do you try to kind of make an experience of your surgery and then like the everything that is around it?
I would say that I look at when I meet my patient for the first time, and then that's the first thing I create, that bond, that trust, and then I look upon it as actually a journey. So I bond with the patient, I create that trust, I kind of like carry the patient or bring it to the journey together with me through the surgical process, and then the post-operative process, and I'm the support. I'm there for them, and then I kind of like I leave them. So it's not it's kind of like part of an experience, but it's more like a journey that I'm their guide on, I would say.
Yeah.
And I make like a psychological contract with them, without words, kind of like, because it's between the patient and me.
Yeah. Is your performance better the moment that you have that connections, that bond?
Yeah, I think that it's a good question. I was talking about that yesterday in the talk. Sometimes you connect on a deeper level with some patients. All like personal know that we cannot really decide which one you do that with, but I think that if you try to aim for making the really best for everyone, that you're kind of like your base level is really raised, kind of, because that is, we're here for one thing and one thing only, and that's the patients.
Yeah. And
So that's
from the other side, their healing, do you think it is also influenced by the way you treat them, apart from the surgery itself?
I think so, absolutely, yeah, I think so, because you are creating something, and it's also very interesting when we talk about the impact through the profession. You know, my words as a doctor to the patient are heavier, kind of. They are the weight are like bigger because I am the doctor, and I talk a lot about that with the students, that using that impact, using the words for good, not like just like a base level, that they do what we say that they will do and all that, but if we really kind of like use the words to lift the patient, I think it's very important. I have like a little example when I do the rounds on Monday, and I meet like an elderly lady, and she's I look at her, and we talk, and then we go, and then I return the day after, and you cannot fake this has to be like really honest. But if I think that she looks a little bit better, I can do two things. I can think it to myself and just like let it stay there, or I can emphasize it with my words and say that, oh dear, you look so much better today, knowing that my words are important. It might be the most important words for her that day. And you can see when she's there in the bed, she kind of like straightens and she can say, yeah, doctor, I think I feel better today. And I'm sure she will.
Yeah. You're very passionate about it all, and you told me that you want to speak more and more about it.
Yeah.
What is your drive to express everything?
I would say that my drive to express is a deep inner voice to do good. And I also more and more realize that I have like an obligation as a human being to do my best, because we are here for such a short period of time, you know. It's like a spark that it's very short-lived. I used to say it's a spark on the dark sky of history. So I think we all have choices, you know, but being born as a human being is really, really to win a lottery, you know. So with all the resources we have, I think it's utterly important that, at least to me, that I use them as good as much as possible, you know. So I think about that. I would say that I think more and more about it, you know, trying to find ways to, kind of like improve and create value.
Yeah, but the work as a surgeon, you really need that, or could you be 100% speaker and just talk
Right
about
now,
this?
yeah, right now I think I need both, because I think we talked about that. Both of those two things, they gained from each other. So my speaking and my soon to be podcast and all that, it's gaining from my surgical experiences and my very close encounters with our patients, and vice versa. And I think I'm a better surgeon or better like connector due to the other part, kind of.
Yeah. Do you have advice for people in the corporate world?
I have some advice, and I would say that the first thing is, don't be afraid to be kind. I have a leadership chapter, and the first step on the leadership or the corporate stairs are so easy to miss, because we have like loads of books and theories and algorithms, and it's easy to skip that first step, which is the crucial step, I would say, and that's actually to care about the ones that you are leader for. Because, and showing that in a very small ways, you know, just like a little sentence that, how was it with your kid? She was sick or something. Instantly, you create something in the other that makes you more of a leader, because as a co-worker, you are one of the most important thing is to be seen, you know, seen and being experienced to create value just for the one that you are, not like a thing that you can be like swifted.
Yeah.
So just by those things, and have fun, you know.
Yeah.
Laugh. Yeah.
What are the people in the hospital, the other people, and I mean then your colleagues, thinking of you, or are they thinking like, oh, there's that strange guy?
Probably,
Yeah.
probably that is like, he's so crazy. So
So it's not that usual then to be like the kind surgeon.
I would say that I think, I mean, like, I look upon my colleagues; they are all very kind. But there is this kind of like old, kind of like role model thing that surgeons, they don't talk so much. They operate. They
Yeah.
are like a little bit grumpy, and and I think a lot of things changed there. But I see that when my book came out, um, there was this, because we all have a kind of like a need to kind of like put people in boxes. You're like that. You're a surgeon. You're like that. You're like you. And when people realize that I'm a surgeon and talk about those kind of like soft values, they kind of like, who? What's happening? Are you're a surgeon, and then okay, and you're interested in that, and yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you are one of the reasons, your warmth is maybe one of the reasons that the ice is melting in the north.
I would say so. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so.
Yeah. But
Probably, Jim.
yeah. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy is being around people that makes me spark. Well, that could be my family, that could be friends, that could be a stranger, and also the feeling of gratitude. That's so powerful. It's so easy to, yeah, pinpoint a lot of like negative things, and if you realize that, yeah, I'm breathing, I'm healthy, and a lot of things, yeah, just falls.
And what's a good day in the hospital? What makes you happy after one
um,
busy day in
when
the
Yeah, so what makes me happy is working together with my colleagues that I love, and we laugh together. We are very serious together, and we create that feeling in the both community, but also together with the patients, that we really try to do some good stuff.
yeah. Do you have a last message for the people who are watching now?
Realize that you as a human being have an absolutely endless potential,
Mhm.
and never ever let anyone step on your dreams.
What's your dream?
My dream is to create something globally that connects the world.
I wish you all the best in achieving your
Thank
dream
you so
and
much. Thank you so much.
realizing whatever you want. Thank you very much for being here and for your kindness in the hospital and outside the hospital.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Jim. And it's been my really, really big pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.